I want to briefly go over the code that we'll write for our guessing game, and there really shouldn't be too much that is new, that is outside of what we've designed in our flowchart. It all should look very familiar at this point. As we can see, just like in the flowchart, we are initializing our variables, and this should look familiar. We've got a random number that we're creating, and we've got our Boolean variable, which tracks if the guess is correct or not, and we have an integer that tracks the number of guesses, and another variable which is it's a constant value of 30, and that is the number of tries that the user has before the game will end. And then we have a message, and throughout the game we're going to display the progress in this message variable, which is a string. So down here we have our loop, our game loop here, and we have a condition here that checks to see if our guess is correct, and it'll loop until the guess is correct. So let's look at our if conditions here. If the number of guesses is greater than the maximum attempts, then we're going to end the game. And this is where we prompt the user for their number. And then this if statement, we're going to go ahead and skip this for now, but when we get to the else condition down here, I'll explain that further. So each time the game loop runs, we're going to increment the number of guesses by 1. And this will be displayed to the user each time they guess. And then with our if statement, we're going to say if the number that we selected, or the user selected, is equal to a random number that we created, then it's going to say you guessed it correctly. The number was whatever number they selected. And what's nice about using the document write is in the background of our game, we'll always see the history of our gameplay, and then the alert messages tell us what immediately is going on in the game. And you can see right here it's going to set the Boolean value to true, and then when our loop happens again, it's going to say is the guess correct, and it'll say true, so it'll exit out of the loop. It will no longer loop. So let's look at the next condition here. If my number is greater than the number to guess, then it's going to say the number is too high and to please try again. If the number the user selects is less than the number to guess, then it'll say the number is too low, please try again. If the user enters an invalid number, we will notify them that their entry is not valid. We will also want to do the same when no number is specified. So now we can go back to this if statement, and we're just saying if the number is nothing, like nothing was specified, then we're just going to throw in any string to offset the number. So when it evaluates this variable, it's not going to see it as a number here or here or here. It'll just say, okay, it's something else other than a number, and that's when it'll tell you, is the number I keyed in really a number? I'm not sure, please try again. So anything other than a number is going to fall in the else block. Now down here, our last if condition, we're just going to say if the number of guesses is less or equal to the maximum attempts, then we're going to go ahead and end the game. And if you remember at the beginning of this video, I said that we have a check here that we use to see if you've gone over the maximum attempts. And if you have, of course, it just exits the while loop. We use the break to exit the loop, which of course is the end of our game. So let's go ahead and see this game in action real quick. I'll just show you this briefly. Okay, so it says enter a number between 1 and 100, so we'll go ahead and put in 50 is a good starting point. Our number's too high. Let's try 30. Number's too low. And so that's basically how it works. And so give it a try. And yeah, send me some feedback and let me know what you think of the game and the tutorial. And we'll have more on the lens with some further details, and also I will provide you with the code. All right, thank you.